Welcome back, intellectuals. This is Q, your favorite intellectual from the Anime Intellectual channel. And today, I will be discussing episode 3 of AOT. I will also be comparing it to the anime, or not the anime. I will be comparing it to the manga, because the manga, I wanted to read the manga to compare it to the anime, but I wanted to wait until this actually came out, and now I can do it. So, let's get right into it. Well, first of all, I'm gonna be talking about Reiner and the group that he came up with, including Zeke, Berthold, and Annie. So in the first scene, they show them kind of training, or doing their little whatever they want to call training for their to see who's gonna be the next warrior and inherit the Titans. So in the manga, there are scenes that give you a little more context, such as why they were chosen, who was chosen, and based on what. And it shows Berthold. It shows Berthold hitting his targets perfectly. It shows Marcel. He beat everybody in the race, and he had the most endurance. Annie, she was skilled combat wise, and that's why she was chosen for the female Titan. Um, yeah, but Reiner, he wasn't in the runnings, but he ended up still, securing a Titan. And people are like, not people, the Porco guy. He's like, well, how the fuck did you get chosen when it was obviously known that you weren't really on our levels? And he just tells him like, well, maybe you're the worst. And I'm like, ooh, that kind of stings. He wanted to hit him. He said no, and then the dude who held him back, his brother, he's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, he must have did something, because there's no way. It turns out that his brother is kind of was talking up Reiner while talking down on his brother. So his brother would stay and wouldn't have to be a warrior or anything like that. Wow, after Reiner was chosen, his father was no, not his father. After Reiner was chosen, they basically displayed all the kids and showed who was going to go and take over paradise. And his father, his dream is to be in a happy Marleyan world with his father and mother. And his father is a Marley man. His mother is an Eldian. That's his and her. That's Reiner's and his mom's dream is to live as Marleyans. But his father, his father doesn't. His father doesn't care about that. He doesn't really care about Reiner or his mom at all. He wants his own family protected and safe and shit. He doesn't give a fuck about them. So now Reiner, he starts to become a little conflicted, but he's still doing it for his mother, doing a whole mission for his mother. Once they get to the island, this is where things kind of get a little confusing, because I felt like the scenes were being put way too close together, and that's like, when shit like that doesn't happen, you call it bad pacing. But the reason these scenes are done like this is because at the end it turns out to be a flashback by a super guilty Reiner, who's he's at that state where he's done with the whole world. Like he doesn't give a fuck about the last 2 years he has left. He wants to end it now. But then he realizes that he can probably still make a change, so he doesn't. We'll talk about that a little later though. Anyways, um the campfire scene happens, and Marcel finally tells Reiner that he really wasn't chosen to inherit the power of the armored Titan, and that Marcel talked up Reiner while talking down on his brother, so his brother would stay and not have to deal with this like Reiner has. So the scene happens where a Titan comes out of nowhere, or Ymir comes out of nowhere to eat Reiner, and Marcel jumps in and takes his place. In that scene in the anime, after he gets eaten, it just skips to the tree scene. And I didn't really like that at first because I didn't have any context. You get more context just with this one panel that shows that Reiner and Annie are right behind this man. And he's sprinting for dear life. So they get to the tree. The train scene happens where Annie kind of she blames Reiner for everything that's happened, and she says if he didn't run, they could have secured the Jaw Titan, but Marcel still would have died. But now they lost Marcel and the Jaw Titan, so we might as well go home. Is what Annie is thinking. And Berthold, he thinks about his dream that he had. And he's like, no, we can't go back now. This will just be considered a failure. And he's like, yeah, they'll probably take your Titan away and you'll be dead. And he's like, you think I'm going to be the only one with my Titan taken away? So he kind of tries to finesse them. And she's not going. She's a strong-willed person. She's not going. She's like, dude, I'm going back, bro. I don't give a fuck. And he's like, if we go back, then we're all fucked. She's like, fuck it. So she beats the hell out of him. She says, own up to what you did. She beats the hell out of him, and she gets ready to leave. And after she's leaving, he gets up, puts her in a sleeper hold, and he says, we're not going back. And I'm like, damn, Reiner's serious about this. And here's where the anime differentiates from the manga a lot. Because there's a whole panel that shows Berthold and Reiner riding Annie basically from that tree, and Annie has been running in her Titan form to the wall. That's not shown in the anime. So I was wondering where she came into play in that whole scene. They added a little bit of context because the original plan for all four of them before the Jaw Titan died was that the female and the Jaw Titans take turns running the distance to the wall. But Annie ran all the distance by herself, so she was exhausted. And they're getting chased by Titans. And once they say that, they see the wall, so they say let's switch. And Reiner becomes the armored Titan, running towards the wall, carrying Berthold and Annie. He gets to the wall and he drops Berthold off. And Berthold looks at the wall in amazement. He's like, Wall Maria, can I really destroy this? He's intimidated because it's big. But then the original plan is basically put into play, but there's still a couple of panels that weren't on the that weren't in the anime that were in the manga that provide some more context too. There's panels where Reiner's being attacked by pure Titans, and then there's a scene where Berthold kicks the hole in the wall. There's that after that panel, then it goes basically to where the anime is. But it's still like a little odd if you weren't to know like this manga, if you weren't to see these panels, you would never see them because it's just you would never see them. I don't know why they didn't add them because I feel like they're kind of important. But it's all good. After they break down the wall, they wake up in Wall Maria. They wake up in the same camp that Eren, Armin, and Mikasa were at, and he's like, "Yeah, I got you guys. I'm sorry." And the next scene, they're talking to this man from this village. His village was at the southeast corner of Wall Maria. So basically, when the Titans walk in, all they gotta do is walk to the right. And they at his spot. So he's talking to them. He's like, "Yeah, I left my kids behind because I blanked out." And after that panel, they basically show him killing himself. And Berthold, Reiner, and Annie, she's indifferent. She only really cares about herself. Berthold and Reiner looking at this like, these people are killing themselves. Doesn't that mean they're suffering? They don't say that, but it's just the expression they give. They thought they were coming to kill devils, and they thought all these people were evil, and they're just like them. And that's fucked up. The next panel in the manga goes to them. Next panel in the manga goes to them in a field, and they're discussing that they figured out the King Fritz is a fake, and they're discussing on what they want to do. Bertholdt suggests that they infiltrate the military police basically and try to see if they're connected to the real king. Annie offers to try to seduce one of their men and get him to marry her. Then she basically says it's impossible because since they're in power and they're not people of Ymir, that they won't allow the blood of Ymir to get in their bloodline, basically. And since the walls have been breached, they'll be like suspicious of anybody, you know. And then she's like, besides, I don't have the charm it takes to seduce a man anyways. Reiner suggests they become military police brigade. Annie, she's against that because they have 10 years left being titans and all and having a limited lifespan. They have 10 years left. So I'm guessing right now her concern is because you have to work your way up in the military police. You have to show skill. So basically, she's going to have to do what she did in Marley before she even went there. And she's going to have to do it all over again with a new group of people. And he's like, we should just destroy Wall, Rose, and Cena and get it over with. Reiner tells her that if they attack those two walls and the original Titan shows up, he can use the original Titan shout to stop and reverse everything. I don't know if that's the shout that he used when he was being chased by Annie in her Titan form, and he wasn't in his Titan form yet, and he used what they call that, the coordinate point, whatever they call that shit, I don't even know. They call it that, the coordinate point or whatever, and then they go to the scene where he's like, why are you here? He's like, to save humanity. I guess that scene never happened in the episode. I thought it did. But it didn't. The next scene, Bertholdt's sleeping against the wall. He's like, that means it'll snow today, right? He's like, nah, that posture means nice weather. The next scene in the manga differentiates from the anime again. They do a flashback of Eren after his training with the gear and it was malfunctioning, and him and Jean got into the altercation that Reiner broke up. You kind of see it from Reiner's point of view and Annie's point of view. You see Annie kind of growing more like she's doing real work, and Reiner's really not doing shit. It seems like, or that's what she feels like. Then it goes to the scene where they're at the campfire and she's voicing her concerns. Reiner shoots all of that shit down the drain. He's like, if we go back now, this will definitely be counted as a failure on our part, and they'll give our titans to other people. I'm glad that this builds on Reiner's character of being kind of a deceptionary ass bastard, you know, deceiving even the people closest to him to get what he wants in the end. The manga version of this scene, he's a real strategist. He has a whole plan, basically, how they can counter the king. In the anime, they just go to a scene where she says, all of your friends, if not most of them, will die. And then he says, they're not my friends. They're Eldian devils, not like us. Then she says her part about him getting out of her face or she's going to throw up. And he's like, well, I'm sorry that we had to put all this burden on you. And we should wrap this up today. And Bertholdt says, I keep having this dream about the old man that hung himself. I feel like this scene might be important later on, but we'll see. Once they're meeting, it's because it's seeming like Bertholdt is going through changes. His change in the mentality of going to reclaim the original Titan, all that's changing. Then they skip to the scene where Reiner's talking to Eren. And Reiner starts to see a lot of himself in Eren, inspiring him to give Eren words of encouragement to keep going on his goal, keep going on his dream. This scene sets up a lot of the conflict for future episodes between these two, I feel like. Because it's almost as if Bertholdt is creating this monster that's going to end up defeating him in the end, which is Eren. He's inspiring him to keep going on with his goals because in the back of his mind, he wants Eren to win and he wants to lose. Showing the scenes showing him damn near about to blow his head off should confirm this, because he doesn't want to win anymore. He already failed his dream in his eyes. He already failed, so there's no point. And he kind of grew on these people, so he wants to help them out in the back of his head and his heart. He wants to be a Marleyan, so he's real conflicted. Anyways, the anime episode ends. It concludes with Falco having a conversation with the damaged stranger. He tells Falco that he doesn't want to return home, not because of memory impairment, just because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to face his family, which is obviously a lie, bro. That is my man Eren in the flesh, and he's passing on the will that was passed down to him from Reiner, to keep moving forward, no matter what, just to see what's on the other side. And I find it funny how he's telling this kid that now, and this kid, he's gonna end up being important in the bigger plot of things. I know he is, but yeah, man, that was episode 3. Sorry this one was so long, but if you did enjoy it, leave a like, leave a comment. It was fun kind of reviewing this episode and discussing it, and also comparing it to the manga, because it's interesting to see how this manga is. They kind of do episodes in between chapters, so they're gonna kind of end funny, but it still might work. It still might work. I've seen a couple scenes taken out, but a couple scenes taken out, it doesn't seem like it's hurting it too much. Besides the scene at the tree, I didn't like that scene at the tree because it was kind of confusing to me. But other than that, man, I enjoyed this episode. They got into Reiner's personal motivations and goals and shit. But now I want to see Annie. I hope they talk about Annie more because she's still alive. Fuck is he talking about? But yeah, man. This has been Q of the Anime Intellectuals. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Watch some anime. Stay safe. Stay quarantined, man.